I want to talk about abortion. I heard someone say abortion is immoral. It is much, much more, and it's not close. Immoral to force a person to go through with a pregnancy when they are not completely ready. And that's ready in 4 ways. And remember what those are, because I'm going to keep coming back to those. Physically, mentally, financially, and socially. Socially, meaning do you have the social support network to help support you through this pregnancy and the child being born at the end of it? Friends, family, partners, whatever it is. And there's 2 big reasons for this: the loss of potential life and the pain and suffering. And this isn't even accounting for the abortions that are medically necessary, right? To save the life of the pregnant individual, or the pregnancies that result from rape. Abortions in those cases are obviously more moral. For the first one, imagine you're a person who can get pregnant and you accidentally get pregnant. You tried to do all the birth control things, they didn't work. You got pregnant anyway. And you're like, oh my God, I'm not ready for this. So you have to decide, right? Am I going to keep this baby and go through with this pregnancy, or am I going to have an abortion? And then someone else comes along and says, actually, you don't get to decide that. I am standing up for that thing living inside you and growing inside you. So you're forced to go through with 9 months of pregnancy, which is hard on the body and on the mind and on the finances and on the social structures, right? Let's assume that you actually survive. In states in America that abortions are either banned or are less accessible, people are 62% more likely to die during pregnancy than in states where it's more accessible. Granted, there's probably a lot of factors that go into that, but abortion is an indicator of other policies that protect people who can get pregnant. So you're more likely to die. And that's, a loss of life, but also the fact that you can't ever get pregnant again because you're dead. Now, let's also assume that pregnancy, the stress brought about by that pregnancy and being forced to go through it, which is going to increase that stress, does not permanently ruin you in one of those 4 ways from ever having children again. How do you think you're going to feel about pregnancy in general? Do you think you're going to have a positive outlook on getting pregnant in general? If it was me and I was like, I'm not sure if I want to put my body through this, and someone said, you got to go through with this pregnancy because you have to protect this massive cells living inside you. After that was done, I'd be like, tie my fucking tubes. I never want to go through that experience ever again. And the statistics show this. Within the first 5 years of either being denied an abortion or getting an abortion, people who were denied access to abortions were less likely to get pregnant overall. And that is many future potential lives that you are taking away. So the loss of potential life is much worse when you force a person to go through with the pregnancy. Now, when you talk about pain and suffering, scientists understand the biological, neurological building blocks needed for you to feel pain. They understand the interaction of something happening to you and what happens in your body to make you feel pain. Developing fetuses do not have those structures until 24 weeks in pregnancy, at the earliest. No earlier than 24 weeks in pregnancy do developing fetuses have those building blocks. Now, if you look at abortions, less than 1% of abortions occur after 21 weeks. So less than 1% occur after 24 weeks. So the vast majority of the time you are causing 0 pain to the fetus. Now, if you force that person to go through with that pregnancy, well, you're not only causing 9 months of stress in those 4 ways, but you're also causing this fetus to potentially go through an unsafe or unhealthy pregnancy, having that baby be born into a situation that is unsafe, unhealthy. Maybe you don't have stable income. Maybe you don't have stable housing. Maybe there's drugs around. Maybe you can't somehow guarantee that this baby is going to have nutrition that it needs, or you're going to get healthcare that you need, while conservatives regularly fight against guaranteeing that elementary school kids all get lunch no matter if they can afford it or not, guaranteeing housing, guaranteeing that people have access to healthcare regardless of if they can afford it or not. And I wanted to add, you're layering on trauma. Kids who were born as a result of unwanted pregnancies are more likely to be diagnosed with psychiatric disorders. They're more likely to be hospitalized due to psychiatric issues. They have worse social standing, right? They report lower job satisfaction and less friends. They report lower academic standard. They report higher poverty related issues, including physical illness and sleep disturbances as a result of chronic stress. Because you care more about a clump of cells than you do about a living, breathing human being. It's sad. No one gets abortions for like funsies. You get abortions because you have to. You're not at a point in your life when you're ready to bring a child into this world. And when you allow people to wait until they are ready, in case accidents happen, you're creating the best environment for that child coming into the world to thrive and flourish. And when you force people to go through with pregnancies when they're not ready and you take away their ability to decide, you're causing more pain and suffering and you're losing more potential life.